Hi Stampers, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs, and I have a new video for you today. Today we're going to do the bokeh or bokeh technique, and I did mine a little differently by using round stamps to do my coloring, and I'm going to show you where my round stamp images come from, enough to give you a little giggle today. And here are my round stamps. As you notice, I have them all in a clear case. And these are actually stamps that I've held on to their leftover rubber pieces from the inside of other round stamps. So I call them my rubber guts. And I'll give you an idea of where some of them came from. The first one, which is this size, came from my Chalk Talk stamp set. If you flip this over, it was the center of this stamp, and I just removed it when I mounted it, and I just couldn't throw this piece away, so I kept it. So there's one of them. Another one came from the Kind and Cozy stamp set. As you notice, this is one of the stamp images. It's the ring. And the one that came from that one is a little bit larger. So I held on to that one also. The third one is actually a double dipper. This was like so. And then this one was the center of the smaller one. So I kept this one. I removed the stamp image from that one. And the inside of that is a ring, almost like a little donut hole. And my last one is from the same stamp set, but it's the bigger frame, and that came from the center of that one. So as you noticed, I have 4 different circles that I can use, and I thought they'd be perfect for this technique today. So let me move those over. I have them all mounted on my clear blocks, and again I'm going to show you the card. As you notice, we have 1, 2, and 3 different size circles on this card, and I'm actually going to do this in different colors for you today. So let me show you the supplies we're going to need. The ink colors that you're going to need is the Memento Tuxedo Black ink, So Saffron, Pink Pirouette, and Calypso Coral. And the stamp image I'm going to use for the sentiment is the I Think You're Pretty Swell image right here from the Big On You stamp set, and that's available in the Occasions 2015 catalog. And I'm also going to add a little bit of bling with the frosted sequins that were available in the holiday catalog that just expired, but these are still available in the clearance rack for $2.99 right now, and you get snowflakes and you get 2 or 3 sizes of sequins. So that's a great deal if you want to visit the clearance rack to stock up on sequins. Now for your cardstock, we're going to be using Calypso Coral, 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. Score in the center at 4 1/4 and fold. On the first card that I showed you, I actually did my cardstock the other way, the long way, which was 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored at 5 1/2 and folded. But I thought we would do this one a little bit differently today. We also need So Saffron, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and Whisper White, 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. So let's get stamping. Okay, the first thing we're going to stamp is our sentiment. And as you can see, it's quite a large stamp. So I usually ink these upside down because it's much easier. You just kind of pounce on it to get the ink on. Okay, and that's our sentiment. And now we're going to start by using the largest circle. And when doing the bokeh technique, which is an unfocused photography term, because it's an unfocused look, what I'm going to do with all my round stamped images is I'm going to stamp off on a scrap paper first and then onto my cardstock. And whenever you have a large rubber stamp like this, the first thing I always do is sand it lightly to remove the manufacturer's film that you'll find on it. So once I have that sanded, I clean it off. And we'll bring in our So Saffron. And as I said, we're going to stamp on scrap first. And as you see, it gives it a lighter tint when you stamp off first. I'm going to add one more. And now we're going to switch over to the pink pirouette. Again, we're going to ink, stamp off, stamp on our cardstock. And we're just going to keep adding some circles. And I overlap most of them as I go because it just gives it the cool look. Okay, now we're going to go with the third color, which is the Calypso Coral. And this one is with the smaller size circle. So stamp off, stamp on. There, and that's about enough of the circles. Isn't that a neat look? And now we're going to assemble our card. I'm going to bring in our cardstock and our bone folder. Fold the cardstock. And then we're going to add the So Saffron layer. And our stamped layer. And now we're going to add the sequins, but before we do that, I wanted to show you a little tip. I usually like to give out tips when I'm doing my stamping. Sequins are hard to get a hold of sometimes, especially with fingernails. So what I've done is I've taken a cute toothpick and using my multi-purpose glue, I put some on the tip and let it dry, and it then becomes sticky. So you can just grab what you need for sequins. And let me show you how I did that. Again, we're just using a toothpick, sorry. And I'm just going to go around the very tip. And as you can see, I added a droplet of it. And what I usually do is get my stamping pierce mat out. And I just stand it up on the edge like that, and I let it dry, and then it becomes tacky, so you can use it as a little dabber. So now we're going to add our sequins. Always easier to put your glue onto your cardstock first. So I'm just going to put about 4 of them. And as you see, I did grab my larger one. Push in place. Here's another large one. And let's see if we can find some little ones. There, and that's enough just to give it enough bling. So here's my 2 cards, 2 different colors, 2 different sentiments, and 2 different looks. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, give me a holler through email or leave a comment here on YouTube. And all of these supplies can be found on my online store, and I'll list all the supplies I used once the video is done recording. Thanks so much for stopping by. Have a great day.